having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Welcome to the Basketball Show. I'm your host, Paul Sir. I am very pleased to be joined by the leader of the new Toronto Tempo, the WNBA franchise that's coming to Toronto for the 2026 season, the first WNBA franchise coming to our great country. Teresa Resch, thank you so much for making time in your very busy schedule to join me today.
No, it's great to be here. And just to be clear, this team isn't just coming to Toronto. We are Canada's team. So the name might say Toronto Tempo, but we truly plan to be Canada's team. And we look forward to finding ourselves across this country in different ways, showing up, hopefully even in regular season games. So nothing to report today. No breaking news today, but keep following us for news down the line.
I would have kept it secret. It would have just been between us, Teresa. But we'll move forward regardless. I think that's an important aspect of this, is that it is Canada's team. You're very familiar with the rather unique history of Edmonton, where I'm speaking from, with women's basketball. We have one of the great stories in the history of women's basketball. In fact, it might be the greatest story in the history of basketball, with the Edmonton Grads. And so we're very excited and take a lot of pride in the fact that you have been successful in drawing the WNBA to Canada. So maybe, Teresa, let's start with the journey of what it took to make this actually into a reality.
So a lot of it actually has to do with the fan base, right? So the WNBA, first and foremost, will be entering its 30th season when we launch in 2026. So there's been a lot of great work from a league perspective to be, at the time, in a place ready for expansion. And then when expansion was considered and the W knew that the league was in a good place, then it was like, okay, what markets are ready? And what markets are the ones that we want to make sure we're expanding to? And Canada was one of them, because of the fandom, because of the support that has been shown for honestly all female athletes at the elite level. Historically, the support that's being shown for basketball, the Raptors championship run and how the entire country showed up was a huge factor in that. And ultimately, the actions of people's time and money, right? Like, they're spending money to go buy tickets, to buy merch. It speaks volumes, and then they're spending their time, right? So viewership, things like that they looked at. And ultimately, we had an incredible owner at the table in Larry Tenenbaum that the league was very excited to be part of. So a lot of different factors go into it, but those are some big priority ones.
I love the way that you frame that, because what you stated is absolutely true. And while I look at it from a Canadian perspective, I do have to share a bit of an Edmonton unique perspective as well. The WNBA was here just over a year ago. We sold out immediately. Yep. Everybody is excited about that. We were the home of the Canadian women's national team for over 12 years, all building on this tradition that we have of the Edmonton Grads. So now the WNBA is coming to Canada in 2026. What does next year look like? What are the steps leading up to the season? And what are the hopes and expectations for the inaugural season of the Tempo?
Well, it looks like the most can't miss event in all of Canada in 2026, first and foremost. But in order to get there, we have to get some players. So we'll form a team. There's three kind of pathways that we can get players. There's going to be an expansion draft, date TBD, but we're expecting it late winter. The Valkyries had their draft this year in December, so we're expecting about the same. Then we'll also be able to convince players to join our team through free agency, and that happens at the end of January. And then we'll also be able to draft players in the college draft, which will take place in April, just a couple weeks before the WNBA season actually starts. So through those three channels, we'll be able to make our team. Before that happens, we'll hire a head coach. We have a bunch of people on a long list of season ticket depositors. We're going to start converting them to season seat holder members here shortly. And then we'll also have some more announcements. We'll have new partners. Corporate Canada has stepped up greatly, so we can't wait to announce some more of those. We'll have some more owner announcements. We already have announced that Serena Williams, as well as Sukhinder Singh Cassidy and Lily Singh, have all joined Larry Tenenbaum as owners of this team. And we'll also have a mascot, so keep an eye out for that. And then we'll also just be in the community. So we had a Tempo Live event in Toronto a couple weeks ago, end of May. We'll look forward to having bigger events that we will be hosting, but then we'll also be across the country amplifying other community events that are taking place already. So lots to do before we tip off, but we're excited about all the momentum that we have behind us and really like going forward. It's only going to get better. It only goes up from here.
This is the Basketball Show on Sports 1440. I'm your host, Paul Sir, joined by Teresa Resch. Teresa is heading up the Toronto Tempo initiative of bringing women's professional basketball into Canada. Teresa, this is a very dynamic time of change and time of growth for women's sports in general. But let's talk basketball in particular. I mean, the popularity last year of the WNBA, facts are facts. The controversy and ebbs and flows of that growth and popularity have been in the news a lot. A lot of it's social media stuff that people just do. But the bottom line is more and more people are excited about and watching women's professional basketball. Talk about the significance of that as you move forward with bringing the Tempo and the WNBA to Canada.
Absolutely. You're right. Like the last season was, I don't have the facts, but I'm going to go on a limb and say probably the best season in WNBA history, both commercially as well as competition on the court. Just really delivered an incredible product and people tuned in. And what's been incredible is, that was really led by Caitlin Clark. Like she transcended sport, she transcended basketball, you speak to people that had never cared about basketball or women's sports before, they knew her name. And what's great is that meant there's this casual audience that's now connected to the WNBA in a much bigger way. And what's great is they have stayed. So that means that there was a great product delivered. It means that they probably found out about her teammates. It means they maybe found out about other teams. And maybe now they even know about the Tempo coming to Canada. So it's incredible momentum going forward. And for us in Canada, we think that we can also usher in an entire new audience. And not that we're Caitlin Clark, but I think that there's an entire global reach that we are really the gateway to. And we can't wait to unlock that for not just the Tempo, but for this entire league. This league has been home to some of the best stories in all of basketball. But the problem is, like, a lot of people haven't known them. So we look forward to elevating our stories of our players, of our teams in this incredible league, not just in Canada, but globally as well.
Well, and I think you hit on a key point there in terms of global awareness. But when people started watching the WNBA, and I watched the WNBA in its infancy, and the quality of play, and you can equate this to the NBA, the quality of play then compared to the quality of play now, the pool of talent that the WNBA presents on a nightly basis. I mean, to see the Valkyries come in and be competitive right away is I think indicative of that. There's just so many great women players now. And I love the fact that it is an international league as well, bringing in players from all over the world. You've got such a great flavor that you're going to be bringing in, and that really does align not just with Toronto, but with all of Canada and its embracing of multiculturalism.
Yeah, absolutely. About a quarter of the NBA is international, and it's about the same percentage in the W. But what is different is that there's about 450 players in the NBA, and there's 144, I guess, with Valkyrie, so add 12 more. So there's 156 players in the W. So if you think about that, if you take the top 150 players of the NBA, and those are the only players that are facing off each night against each other, like that's what the WNBA is every single game. And there's also half as many games. So there's 44 games in a season as compared to 82 in the NBA, which means all of those games have that much more importance. So the level of basketball that's being played is so high. And it's incredible because every single night when those women go out there, it is imperative that they get that win, that they play well, and it's really, really a lot of parity and high competition within the league, which is really fun to watch. And yeah, it's a global game. Like I said, it's about a quarter international players. There's 4 Canadians on rosters this season. And what I think is going to be really telling is how that changes over the years. How can the Tempo's existence, similar to the Raptors, similar to the Carter effect that we hear about, and honestly the championship effect from 2019, more people are interested, more people are paying attention, more people are playing, which means that there's going to be those elite players that will come from it, right? You see right now in the NBA, MVP of the league is Canadian, right? That doesn't happen without the influence and the aspirational teams that exist before it. And we look forward to and embrace our role in that. And we can't wait for little girls who are fans of the Tempo growing up to become MVPs of the league someday.
And that will happen. That absolutely will happen. Yeah, and when you look at Steve Nash being the MVP, but most of the Canadians in the league, other than Steve in his era, were role players. Yeah. Now, we were watching the NBA championship much of the time with 4 Canadians on the floor making huge impacts.
That's true.
And that's all evolution, and that will happen with girls as well. Teresa Resch from the Toronto Tempo is with me today here on the Basketball Show. Okay, Teresa, you talk about it's going to be Canada's team. What does that mean? How are you going to make this Canada's team?
I mean, it already is. Like, I don't think we have to make it. It already is. The fandom around this team is from coast to coast. Our merchandise went up for sale in January, and it was purchased from every single province and territory in this country. So yeah, the fandom in Toronto is probably a little bit more, but that's just because it's aligned with our team name, and that's where our home arena is. But we can't wait to have fan clubs. We can't wait to have ways for people to interact with this team without being in the arena. There's a stat that with the Maple Leafs, only 5% of the fans ever actually see them in person. And the Tempo is going to be the same, not because it's not accessible, but just because our fandom is going to reach from coast to coast, and we can't wait to embrace it. And everybody should feel part of this. We just launched a campaign this past week called Together We Win. It's really our inclusion platform. It talks about how we're trying to be a team that stands for and welcomes everyone. It's a pledge. The Toronto's Youth Poet Laureate wrote it and performed it. You can see it on our channels, and it's a pledge. And if you sign the pledge, there's a donation that goes to charities called You Can Play as well. But we're also going to show that before every single game. And it's about a lot of what we stand for is that we want to be a team for everyone. And that has to do with every part of who you are, including where you live.
Well, Teresa, I have no doubt that the goals that you have just shared with us, the vision that you're striving to achieve, I have no doubt it will be all of that and more. Great leadership like yourself and the team surrounding you. You're in a nation that aligns very much with the values that you just shared. And I can't thank you enough for coming on with me today, and look forward to talking again and actively following the evolution and the lead up to the launch of the Toronto Tempo.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. And I know you've done so much for the game, especially in Edmonton. So thank you for the work that you're doing as well and for sharing our story. I'll definitely be back. I can't wait to talk about the Tempo more.
Likewise, Teresa Resch, who heads up the Toronto Tempo, the newest WNBA franchise coming to Toronto in 2026. Get your tickets, get ready to watch some of the best basketball that you could ever hope to watch. Thank you so much again, Teresa.
Thank you.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.